There we go. I would say for me, my biggest challenges with the role playing Alex is the everyman. He's really the fish out of water in this universe compared to the rest of the characters. So I think a consistent challenge is remembering exactly who I am, where I'm coming from, and how different of an experience all these events are translating for me comparatively to other characters. And that can be something as small as hearing a gunshot go off right by my ear, or it can be something as large as seeing somebody get killed right in front of me, which is something that my character would never have witnessed before. And then also just on a physical and technical standpoint, there were some scenes where we were just catching the sunrise, and it was 3 days in a row. It was 4 a.m. wake up times, and having some pretty arduous days, of course, leading up to that night. It's not a whole lot of sleep, and getting up at 4 a.m. is like 3 nights in a row. That was definitely, it was a challenge, but we overcame it. And also looking back on it, it's a fun story to tell.
It was funny. There was a day on set. It's actually a scene where Alex is talking to his mom, and Cole and I or Nicholas, the director, and I were looking at the monitor, and he looks over to me and he goes, "God, we messed him up. Look how good he looks." He just looks like drained. His like lips are all chapped. He just looks totally beat up. And so it was oddly fulfilling as much as it was challenging.
Folks, you may not recognize Alex. I think he
Yep.
has beard and hair. It just dawned on me. I'm like,
yeah, I do now.
I said, who is this dude? And I said,
I like to change my roles.
He's got a head full of hair now.
Yeah. He's a chameleon.
That's what I like to hear.
Yeah. Callan, can you tell us about your involvement as far as the role again? We kind of dropped the recording.
Yeah.
So can you go through that again, please?
Of course.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So I play Kellen. He's kind of at first the antagonist, but it's interesting. We get to have his perspective, and like I was saying, in a lot of movies we see the antagonist is just the antagonist. We don't get to see their perspective, and it was really exciting being able to be a part of a film that kind of goes and unpacks what he's experiencing and why he's doing what he's doing, and hopefully it justifies, and we kind of get his perspective, gives him a heart, as like you said.
Yes,
it's very easy to see a guy in a black leather suit and then with blood all over his face and a gun held to a woman's head in the middle of the desert. It's easy to be like, okay, that guy is clearly very evil. But I thought it was really interesting to be able to go back and like you see his relationship with his dad and with other people, and his doctor and his therapist and all these people, to kind of just make him a very well-rounded character. So.
I like that because it did show. I mean, I was watching the flashback and then I was like, oh, he's in present time.
Yeah,
and he's thinking of all that.
Yeah.
Challenges in Sedona, because it looks like it was heck hot. How did you guys keep cool?
I mean,
we didn't.
Yeah.
That's an easy answer.
We definitely didn't. Yeah. Oh man, it was tough. I mean, it was like we shot it in late June, early July. So funny enough, like it's our own fault for like shooting a movie that time of year. We had to do, and it was crazy. The cameras would heat up. The equipment, like they wouldn't even be able. They'd have to like move it inside. And our DP Sten Olsen, who did a phenomenal job, his hands would start burning. You would have to like put it in the shade and
holy mackerel.
So it was tough, man. I mean, like I was saying earlier, like even the blood we were using, it was like this hot magma that would cover us. So we had to bite the bullet for sure.
This is a very intense story, and we discussed that it's not your regular human trafficking film. And with what's going on today, I mean, you have young kids. This is like total different demographic.
Mm-hmm.
When the director approached you with that, what was going through your head as far as your character wise, and when he approached you with this is a different slice, a different spin on human trafficking?
Sure. For me, the way that I saw it was sort of like, and tonally it's different, but the story of it would be like the movie Taken, except it's from Liam Neeson's daughter's point of view, and she kicks ass. And you're really following her journey, and so obviously, like I said, it's the tone and the style of the film's completely different. But you're right; it is interesting because we don't a lot of times get to see the point of views of the victims that go through these kinds of traffic rings, and that was something that really excited me, especially just from the protagonist. Michaella Russell's character, Marika, just seeing things play out from her point of view and to be able to experience her revenge story with her. And for my role as Alex, who's the everyman who gets sucked into being essentially her sidekick in executing her revenge. It was, it's a fun, exciting thing to get to be able to be a part of. And it's sort of a new take and a new vantage point on something that isn't really talked about still too much. You still have an occasional TV show or film that touches upon it, but it's still largely a massive issue that goes unspoken. So it's cool to be a part of that conversation as well.
Yeah. Our director, we're all good friends with Michaella Russell, the actress, but he had met her first, and she's from South Africa, and so she came to America to come live and work. And she was going through some weird things with this lawyer, like an immigration. Like she was like saying these things, like this guy is like a little weird. He's like kind of maybe even coming on. He was like this whole thing. So that kind of, it was inspired by, I mean, not totally true events, but kind of like partly true events. So it was interesting kind of hearing her perspective. And again, like what Heston was saying, I mean, we all love, Taken and all, but that's like kind of like more of a hyperbolized, extreme version of this. This seems, I think is more grounded in its approach. So like evil can kind of be lurking anywhere, and like in the common man, or what we would look at is the common man.
True. Tell me about the little guy, older guy. He has a conversation with you, and he's in the black suit.
Oh yeah, Jonathan. Yeah,
I said, who is this cat?
Yeah, man, he's crazy. Yeah, he's a great actor, man. He's a Jonathan. He came on for just a few days. It was funny. We because I never met him, and we just started acting together. And
what else have we seen him on before?
He was in he had a bit part on Yellowstone, I think, and he was Better Call Saul. So
so he's been around.
He's done some legit stuff, and he's great. We had this one day. I mean, he has to go into a pool at some point. You know what I mean? Just to be in water.
Yes.
And he was wearing this really nice suit, and we were like, "You want to like?" I was like going to Cole. I was like, how do we approach this guy? Like, we barely know him. He's really cool, but I don't want to ask him to like jump in the pool with his like really on. And so Nicholas goes up to the guy and he's like, "Hey man," and he was just immediately down. Sean Dillingham, by the way, is his name. He was immediately down, like, "Oh yeah, no worries." And he just jumped right in, never complained. So props to him.
I loved watching him too. He's awesome.
Yeah. He reminded me of a maitre d'.
Yeah.
Back in the day, the big restaurants. Come on, have a seat. You look like you deserve this seat. Come on in. Come on, have a seat.
He's got a pinky ring, and
this cat. And then he pulls out the blammer. I'm like, we're talking about spider webs. That was one of those spider web moments.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's kind of like John Wick. All the concierge, those people in suits, but underneath they got.
Oh yeah. Love that movie. Loved the trilogy. Can't wait for the 4 and 5.
We're big fans, dude.
Absolutely.
Now, back Echoes of Violence. What was your guys' shooting schedule like? Because as I said, you are in 3 different locations. And how much stress did it put on all of you to do all these different locations?
Yeah. Well, Chase was involved from a producerial role in addition to being one of the leads in the film. So you were there.
I think there were 17 shoot days, just 2 pickup days. So and for the amount of, funny enough, this movie actually was much longer. We had to just cut it out. So we really crammed a lot into those days, but it was definitely a challenge. Just shooting in and around LA already is very difficult, just in terms of location and even just sound. There's a few scenes in a parking lot, and just being able to kind of like get that clean is already a challenge, and get it clean like in a certain amount of hours. A lot of running around, but the most challenging was for sure Arizona, for sure. Just simply because of the heat. I think it was. We were like driving in to Phoenix at night. I think it was like 1 a.m, maybe like 12:30, and it was 103 degrees, I think.
And
we were like, if it's this hot now, like how hot is it going to be later? And I think the next day it was like over 110, and man, it was just crazy. So, but I mean, me and the director, we'd wake up every morning, and we were a good unit. We had a good system. We'd wake up in the morning at like 3:30 a.m. because we'd want to catch that blue light in the morning. You only get it at sunrise. And so we woke up at 3:30 and we'd put on country music and make breakfast, get the whole crew up, get everyone excited. We go out and we would shoot from like 4:20 in the morning until noon. And then you have to sleep for like 3 or 4 hours in the middle of the day because you can't shoot there because the light's just too intense. You know, they're not able to shoot. And so then we go back and start shooting again around, 5 or 6, and then shoot till 11 or
11.
Yeah, something like that. So, I mean, I think I would have like 3 hours of sleep a night. And it's tough because I'm also trying to perform too. But again, like luckily enough, these characters they've all been dragged through the mud and they're all like pretty exhausted. So hopefully, it translates. So, yeah.
There's a shooting in the heat, and I mean, even the color palette in Arizona, it's kind of like an orange, warm, and then LA, it just goes cold blue.
I agree.
Just cold blue city, grimy city.
LA is like so shiny and like bright. So it was interesting. We were just very lucky. It was serendipitous that the days that we decided to shoot and that we were shooting in LA, it was just overcast. And like everyone was like, dude, yes.
Wow, is that right?
Lots. Yeah, it like really works. So we just kind of got lucky there. So, yeah.
The chemistry with the cast. I mean, you can see how did you guys develop the chemistry with all of you? And what was the shooting schedule like for this film?
So the chemistry, me and Chase have been working together for some years. We actually met in acting school together in undergrad at Chapman University, where Nicholas Woods, our director, also went for film school. So we're all alum from Chapman, and we've known each other and been working with each other for some years. And so that chemistry really gives us a huge advantage going into shooting because it's a shortcut essentially in terms of how you communicate with each other, how you play off of each other. We're all used to one another. Michaella Russell, she was sort of the new trooper, our lead, but she immediately fit right in with all of us. And I think having our table read and being able to be with each other and spend time with each other for rehearsals in person, because this is all pre-pandemic, pre-COVID. So we had those advantages still existing at our disposal of being able to spend time in person and resonate with one another's voices. So yeah, it was a very seamless transition, and Michaella is a great dear friend of ours still. And so that was easy. And in terms of the shooting schedule, I think when you're under so much pressure because of the limited amount of days you have to shoot, the circumstances with the high heat, the travel, it all really forces the cast and the crew to really connect and to be gelling together, because either you rise to the occasion and you float, or everyone is at each other's throats and you sink. So thankfully for us, it's a lot of really great people to work with, and it's great vibes. And Nicholas Woods did a great job helming the ship. And of course, Chase, as a producer on the project, also did a good job just maintaining morale and making us all breakfast at 4 a.m, as he was talking about.
They may not have been the tastiest eggs, but it was it was important.
There you go.
Hey.
And Nicholas also is really good at talking to actors. He really pays a lot of attention, and he's really good at communicating what he wants, and that's really nice. It's really, really refreshing for sure.
All right. Now, when you guys got a chance, the film was finished and you showed it, how did you feel since you guys have worked together before, but say the newer cast members that you haven't worked with, did you watch them as they responded to seeing themselves on the big screen? Because I always find it's always different when you're in the film and then you see yourself, holy mackerel, that's me.
I'm always doing this.
Chase hates it. I love it. If I had it my way, I would be in Video Village after each take, rewatching the takes that I just did, so I can tweak my performance just from that angle. Obviously, there's never enough time for that, but Chase cannot stand watching himself.
Absolute slow torture, but it was wonderful seeing Michaella and some of the other actors see themselves. They're all really excited, man. I mean, again, our DP is so talented. He makes everyone look good. And that's what, I think Heston and I have both been a part of things where you look at yourself and you're like, it's not my best angle. You know what? It's not the best. So we're really lucky to all look pretty good in this. So,
well, to that end, in real life, my look is quite different than it is now. As you pointed out, I had a shaved head and a shaved face, which I looked like a baby. And in real life, I was like, man, I don't know that I like this look. And I feel like I look kind of dumb and all this stuff. And then I see myself on the playback and I see what Sten Olsen is doing. And I'm like, thank God for that, man. He is making me look way better than I do in real life.
Yeah, man, sure. So, but yeah, it's always exciting. It brings everyone together. You know, that's what filmmaking is all about. That's what I love. We love so much about it is just, the community of it. You know.
Yeah, immerse yourselves in the role.
Yeah.
Well, gentlemen, thank you so much for coming on the show. I'm serious. This, folks, you see it, you will get that. As I said, that Quentin Tarantino, Robert Rodriguez vibe, that kind of Reservoir Dog. I mean, I was like, have I seen this before?
Yeah, yeah.
It was very good. Our guests, folks, Chase and Heston, Echo of Violence at Cinequest Joy 2021. Gentlemen, as I said, man, this was, yeah, I'm speechless because it was, I didn't get bored once. That was a thing. I did not get bored one time because I watch a lot of films. This one, I was, holy crap.
Good, man. Good. If we can get people off their phones for an hour and 45 minutes, that's a success, man. So that's good.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, man.
Thank you, guys. Take care of yourselves, fellas. Thank you.
Get it.
You
You
too.
take it easy.
All right.
All right.